Hello, Randy Randall here. Thanks for joining me back for a second session this week. We did, what did we do last week? We did Send Me? No, we did Send Me on Monday. And now today's Thursday. And some of you guys have been asking about pedals and gear and all that kind of stuff. What's up, DM Sturm? So I thought I would get into it, and I'll kind of do this the same way. Let's pick a song and a pedal, and I'll go in and kind of show you. When I think about pedals, I think about them like a utility belt or like a toolkit. I like pedals. Oh, hey Randy, I'm the guy who sold you your Sun Model T 900 Beach. Whoa, what's up, Recap Modati? Wow, you remember that? That was what, 2002? Dude, that thing's great. I still have it right here. I have a few Sun Model Ts. Thanks for selling me that Sun Model T in Huntington Beach way back. Speaking of gear, I mean, that's been a huge part of my sounds. We'll definitely do an episode on Sun Model Ts one of these days. But like I was saying about pedals, the way I look about pedals is I want something that can do lots of things, or at least be able to be versatile. If it only does one sound and I can only use it for one song, I don't want to carry it on a board with me for a long time. I want to be able to, find uses for the effect multiple times. So that's where, fuzz boxes and overdrives, distortions make sense. But also the way we play and the way I've written songs with No Age, the delay pedal has been a huge part of what we do. When I talk about delay pedals, my favorite delay pedal is this. This is the Boss DD-5. I first got one of these in the mid-90s when I was just, looking around Guitar Center, trying to find something that sounded cool. I'd already gotten a phaser and realized I didn't really like what that was doing. So I thought I would try a delay. Not really knowing anything about delays or what they did. But this Boss DD-5 kind of changed my mind. I think it's really shaped the sound of a lot of No Age and what we've written and how we've messed around with stuff. A lot of it comes from these DD-5 pedals. I have a few of them. They're really built like tanks, like most Boss pedals are. They're, super hard to break and really rugged. But, over the years, spilling stuff on them, people jumping off of them, they will go down. So I've had to kind of scoop them up whenever I find them or whenever I can. I'll get these. I think this is coming out in mirrored image, so I don't know if you can really read what it says. The idea behind a delay pedal is it basically takes whatever sound you give it and then plays it back to you like a tape machine. It repeats things, and you can say how fast you want it to repeat and how many times you want it to repeat. So that's really all that a delay does. This particular delay, the DD-5, they make, DD-1 now, I think up to DD-8. So they're different. They're all different pedals. I think it's interesting the way Boss does these digital delays. It's called a Boss DD-5. I'm trying to hold it up there so you can see it, but it's in reverse, like we're looking in a mirror. So I don't know if it makes sense. I'd have to mirror this, but Boss Digital Delay 5, and it's great because you can go stereo in, stereo out, or even mono in and then stereo out. This is how I did my signal splitting early on, with just running one mono guitar cord into it and then two guitar cords out of it, and then you could plug those into two different amps. So it was a super easy way to split signal early on without having an ABY pedal or anything fancy like that. This is a cool pedal for split signals. It also does a thing that I fell in love with early on. It's called a reverse setting. What that does is you put the signal into it and it plays it backwards. So instead of just playing it back forward, forwards, it's going to give it to you backwards. So I'm going to plug this in and show you guys how I use it. The early on in No Age, what I realized was plugging a volume pedal into this and slowly raising the volume, slowly coming up on your volume pedal into this reverse reverb. You got this cool steel string haunting, sort of almost string like, steel string lap steel guitar sound, or almost like a cello kind of violin sort of sound, which is real haunting. So I'll show you exactly how I do that. That was something I've discovered early on in No Age, and I used it a lot. And then the particular song early on that I used it, that most people had heard, or that we could most prominently hear it, is on a song off of Widow Rippers called Dead Plane. So I'll show you how to play Dead Plane, and I'll kind of talk about this Boss DD-5 and how I use it to make some sounds in there. So I'm going to flip the camera over to where you can see the pedal board here on the floor, and then I will, twiddle some knobs here. The main idea, and again, this is stupid because it's in reverse. You have your effect level. So how much of the effect do you want to hear? That's 0. You're just playing dry guitar sound. Turn it all the way up, and you're only hearing the affected sound, right? Next one is your feedback. Feedback, not like awesome feedback where the guitar feeds back, but this is the feedback basically means how many times it repeats. So at the lowest amount, you bing, bong, bing, 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 bing. And you turn up more, you hit one bing, 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 bing. You turn all the way, bing, 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 and just gonna keep going. Next knob is time. So real tight, bing, bing. That's what that would do. Low repeats, fast time, bing, bing. The longer you give between it, bing, bing, bing. That'd be with more things. You put your feedback up to half, your sound at half, you're gonna bing, 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 bing. Goes a little longer. Last one is the mode selector. So this is where you select your time range. So they give you, I think, up to 2 seconds. This is the longest. And then you have your reverse, and then you have a hold, which I've also used a lot. I think I talked about it in one of these videos before, but in Everybody's Down, this is an early looping pedal. I think you have 2 seconds of looping you can do from this. So you just hold it down. So you're playing ding 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 ding. You hold it down, ding 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 ding. Release it, and now it's gonna play back ding ding ding. So it's gonna loop. So it's a really interesting, cool, robust pedal, for doing delays, these delays, reverse delays, and holds. So this was something when Dean and I first started the band, I had this on the pedal board and just found a million cool uses, and pretty much put it all over Widow Rippers. And I've never done a record that this wasn't on. I've never done a show where I didn't have one of these turned on and using it at some point. Right now, for the last 2 years, I've been playing with 2 of these. So just because I got tired of bending over and switching the settings between every song. So one's set, this one's usually set for a certain time, and the other one's set for another time. And they're really fun too with that reverse sound. It's nice, when you hit your last chord before the song ends, I'll turn that on, the reverse, and then it gives you a tail to kind of go between 2 songs. So I can tune in between songs, and you still have this kind of trail out in between songs. And it's also really great. I mean, I've made a lot of the ambient stuff people have asked on records, like the intros and outros and things. A lot of them are made on this. Kind of see how I do that. You put a guitar signal in there, you can slow it down, speed it up, and it just becomes real washy real quick. In my mind, as a kid growing up in the 90s, not having any access to whatever Kevin Shields was playing through and whatever he made his opuses with, this was the quickest, dirtiest thing from Guitar Center I could get to get some kind of Kevin Shields shoegazy sound. Casey Taylor Brock's asking, are you using a couple of them at the same time, or the extras backup? No, I have them 2 on. I don't always use them at the same time. Mostly I have it set for one setting. So I have this one set for like a bing, 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 bing. And like something like stuck in the changer. Chan, 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 chan. And then the other one's going to be set for a reverse. So like what I said, when the song ends, the goes long. So I'm going to flip this thing over, the camera over, so you can see the pedal board down here. And then I'll mess around with some sounds, show you the volume pedal going into this, what that does. And then I'll play a little bit of Dead Plane, and then show you the chords from that. And then we'll call it a day. And then, right, I think we're saying if you used a MIDI verb, you could have. Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, there was a funny thing in the early 90s. I bought an early Kevin Shields interview that he did on KUCI with Ned Raggett. And I was trying to figure out what he used, but there wasn't the internet database or the gear database that we have now. I mean, since then, yes, Dean and I have a few Elisa's MIDI Verb 2s, and we use them all the time. And, they're fun, but this was, something that I tried to get away with real quick. Ned, right? How awesome is Ned? There's fans of Ned Raggett out there. I was a huge fan of My Blade Valentine and trying to find out any information about shoegaze music in the, 95, 96, it was tough. I came across Ned Raggett's radio show, and I wrote in with a self-addressed stamped envelope and asked for a transcript of the interview so I could pour over it and read it over and over and over and over and over again, just to see whatever I could glean from how he made these things. And at that point, Kevin Shields was pretty much in hiding in a recluse, so the fact that he was able to do a over the phone interview with Ned, I was just like, this guy's a wizard. How did Ned track him down and get him to talk? So yeah, so let's plug this in, let's check it out, and we'll see. Well, so I'm gonna flip this over. Give me 1 sec. Can you see it there? You can bring it down. Okay. How's that look? Can you see? You can see a little bit. Here's the volume pedal I'm talking about. Let's get our effect level up here. Okay. So here's the reverse. I'll just do one note at a time so you can kind of hear what it is. We'll turn the feedback up longer. We'll turn the sound a little faster. The main kind of part of dead playing. I'm just slowly using this, raising and lowering this volume pedal, which again you can see, it still looks like a wah pedal. Here, turn this down. Looks like a wah pedal, but it's just turning your volume knob up and down. So you're just slowly raising and lowering the volume like you would do on your volume knob, but feeding it into the DD-5 on a reverse delay setting creates this really cool kind of harmonized thing. And what's also cool about it, on this particular one, you have a feedback all the way up, your effects level up, and delay time about noon. You can feed it in. Well, right, go down to G. And then when you change the time, it goes faster. And then that's pretty much where dead playing kicks in. Then you're doing. So the idea, this thing's on the reverse reverb part, and I'm just doing C and G, kind of slowly swelling in C to G. I think I'm doing them as bar chords here. So that's C being swelled in, and then go down to G. And again, you can kind of see how layering these sounds, now you get this really creamy sound. What's really fun too is, set it really fast and play something, kind of like a melody line. And slow it way, way down. And you get this whole thing where, you know, that's like, ooh, I like that, how the way that sounds. So you would record that, and then you know, okay, now that's a tail or that's a sample. That could be anything. So normally I would set these things, you know, somewhere in there. Like I said, and then this is the other DD-5 I have next to it. I always kind of cover these things in funny contact paper just because it made me laugh to do it. But the way I usually set this up on my board is I have it on the second setting. You can kind of see where I have the stuff notched in there. You can kind of see it, but this is going to be a little faster than that. Alright, so I'm going to flip this back around so you can see the guitar and what I'm playing up here. So yeah, and that's the basics of delay pedal. So for the song Dead Plane, what I'm doing is these you know, kind of a C bar chord here, and I'm using the volume pedal like I showed you. So just kind of holding down on the 5th fret. D, G, and B all on the 5th fret here. And then I'm going to go to G, so that's going to be the D string still on the 5th fret. I'm sorry, D on 5th fret, G on 4, B on 3, like this. And then raise that up, and then back to. I'm just kind of waving those, or just putting those things in there. What's up, David Scheid? How are you? Thanks for tuning in. How's the baby? So that's kind of the idea. You're just doing those things for the beginning of the song Dead Plane. Back and forth from C, then to G. And then Dean's kind of, you know, playing all over the drums. And then I think we land on C, and then I'm going to modulate it up and move that time. And then move that faster. And that goes. And then we come in together, and then from again, then we're still just playing C and G, but this time I'm doing them up here as bar chords. So on the, you know, bar chord for C is on the 7, 8 on the low E. 10 on A and D, and then 9 on the G, and then B, the high B and E is all there on 8. So and then down to G. Let's see if I can do this here. So come up to the C. Up to A sharp. So really just doing C to G, and then after every other one you bring it up to A sharp, and then back up to C. But the DD-5 I showed you maybe was a huge part of that song. And it definitely is a big part in how I play guitar and how I make stuff. I mean, I think these really fun kind of just haunting one notes into reverse reverb is huge. And even in the song in the beginning of Send Me that we did yesterday, I usually have this thing on. It's kind of like this. Starts. But it's a fun thing to have on for intros, or even say, you know, you're playing the song and then you're about to end the song. You can turn it on right at the last note, and it creates this long sort of sort of drone in between songs if you have your feedback setting for a long time. So you're playing. Now you take your hands off, and that's just going to do it. Go over there, turn your tuner on, tune up, check everything. You're like, okay, we're back, we're good. Kind of gives you that kind of dreamy sort of interlude in between songs where that last note just gets played in reverse for a while. So that's the DD-5 Boss delay pedal that I have. I have a DD-3, I have a DD-8, I have a DD-7. They're all cool. They just do different things. For some reason, the DD-5, the reverse function, is something that I just found that no other pedal, no other pedal did. So I really like that one. So this guy wants dare me to play Brain Burner. Okay, well, I mean, I'll do a whole other song for it. I think we did it before, but it's this. That's another part in that song. Then I would use the hold function here. Okay, I'll show you. So you get to that part of the song and do the sixth. You turn it off. So those are fun. Concerned Mother. That sounds like the real thing. Yeah, this is the song. This is how I played it. Played it with these guitars, with this pedal. So that's it. DD-5, Dead Plane. I hope you guys liked it. I'll be back next Monday. We'll do them Monday and Thursdays at noon. Let me know what songs you want to hear, what other gear you want to look at. We've got lots of amps. I could do a quick spin around the studio if you guys want to see. I know we're talking about Model Ts. There's some Model Ts in there. There's another one. We got Beta leads, Hillbish, awesome amps. These Roland Spirit 10As, all kinds of stuff. Lots of three-tone pedal. This is this awesome pedal my friends at Electro Foods made for me. It's a cool preamp thing we're working on. Electro Foods are really awesome as well. This is their Nepenthes that that's kind of based on. It's an awesome pedal. What's this thing? Oh yeah, all right. Well, I think the connection's getting poor. That's just a quick look around the studio. Lots of gear here to look at. There's Dean's area there, drums, lots of other stuff there. Some recording zones happening. So microphones. This is where Dean's gonna be tracking more vocals shortly, hopefully. Cool. Do I have a recording setup in there too? Yes. Yeah. We use this UA Apollo 8P as our DAW, a bunch of other stuff in there. So this is kind of where we practice, record. This next record, Goons Be Gone, was recorded all here. This is where I mainly tracked everything. Yeah, so you get to kind of hear what the studio sounds like. In terms of soundscape stuff, yeah, I mean, we can go through more stuff. I was just looking through the other comments I missed. But, tutorials, yeah. An overdrive. So yeah, so those pedals, the DD-5 can just go straight into the amp because you don't need to run it into anything else. The DD-5 can be used as a splitter, which I said was cool. What else? Samuel Casebolt, what's happening? Cool. All right, I think that's it. Thank you guys, and I'll see you on Monday. Thanks.